Kumar Singh. He's a behavioral counselor, Microsoft educator, YouTuber, and he's the faculty, English department faculty of one of the biggest group of institutions in India. Beach Pilani, everyone knows very well. Birla School Pilani is the product of Birla School Pilani, Rajasthan. And what he's going to talk is on part 1 school education. My interesting chapter, the most interesting chapter and most essential chapter of every educator, every participant of this program, chapter 4. And in chapter 4, languages in school, the most controversial element, languages in school education. I request Mr. Sunny Kumar Singh to address.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Prakash Nair, sir, Bharadwaj, sir, Meenakshi, Narula, ma'am, Aswarya Taneza, ma'am, all my esteemed and beloved participants, dear friends and colleagues. It's really nice being with you all to present something and talk something about. I'll start just with a quote, with a sentence which touches the life. Everyone is special if you think so. Every moment is memorable if you feel so. Everyone is unique if you see so. And remember, life is beautiful if you live so. As you know, we have lots of discussion about National Education Policy 2020, which has been drafted recently and brought to us. And we have discussed many points. As you have already heard Prakash sir, Meenakshi ma'am, Aswarya ma'am talking about the policy and the key factors of the policy. And of course, this is the coming generation who is going to face and get the benefit of it. Not only the teacher, not only the parents, not only the students, but I think everybody is involved in it because everyone is the part and parcel of our future generation. So this is one of the vital aspects of development for our country and the nation, because education policy will bring surely development in the core of each and every aspect of the nation. So let me present over the part 4, which is a short description of the pedagogy of education. Along with that, let me share my presentation to you all, which I will continue on. Is it visible to you all? I hope it's visible. If it is
visible, sir, it is visible.
Yeah, so well, everybody, as sir has already introduced you all about the best part of our national education policy, and of course it is. I will be talking about the major transformational reform in education that is brought in chapter 4. As the part of chapter 4, I will be talking about languages in school education. Friends, as you know, language, the major part of our communication and the means of understanding, is the only source to share our feelings, our behavior, our taught and untaught languages and lessons. So this is talk in chapter 4. First, before going on the topic, you should know something about chapter 4, which talks like curriculum and pedagogy in a school. In curriculum and pedagogy, which will be transformed by 2020, it will come in force. You know, it will minimize the rote learning. till now you already know we have been facing children getting cramming, mugging up the things and coming out with the non-experiential learning. They could not explain themselves when they would be asked with a twist of questions. That's just because of rote learning. It will be minimized and the holistic development will be encouraged. So remember, this is all about developing the holistic nature of the children. And development of 21st century skill require critical thinking, creativity, scientific temper, communication, social responsibility, and digital literacy. A collaboration which Meenakshi, which ma'am, Asarva ma'am has just talked about, collaboration will be the part of it. And multilingualism is the another aspect which I will be talking about. Multilingualism, the generative of more languages, and then problem solving, I think, is the part of this. I will be particularly talking in brief about multilingualism, just in a sort of this. You already know that the pedagogy and the curriculum is restructured, which is in the form of 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. And here the short brief is like this: 5 years of fundamental stages there, where 3 years of pre-primary school and grade 1 and second is. You can understand it like in short. Earlier in government schools, they don't have nursery, UKG and LKG. But now with the effect of 2020 NEP, they have nursery, LKG, UKG, which will be called fundamental stage, and grade 1 means class 1 and class 2 will also include in that. So they will study 5 years in fundamental stage, concluding class 1 and class 2, that we call grade 1 and grade 2. And after studying 5 years, which sir already described, Prakash Nair sir described it as ECCE. This will be the part of fundamental stage. So fundamental stage will go in ECCE. Then 3 years of preparatory stage will come, where the children will come in grade 4 and 5.
Remember? Yeah, pardon, Mr. Sunny. I guess your first screen is visible only, title 1. Please check it out.
Okay. Is it visible now? It's not, ma'am?
No, I can see the first title screen only.
Okay. Let me see if... Yes, is it now?
Yeah, yes, it's perfect. Please go ahead.
Is it here?
Yeah, yes, okay to go, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, so I was just talking about this second stage, that will be like primary, in which the children will study in grade 4th and 5th. And here, after studying 4th and 5th, they will come in grade 6 and 7, 6, 7, 8, which will be called upper primary, or you can also understand it as middle level of studies, where they have amples of opportunities to opt language learning. Although you already know language learning will start from the foundational stage, I will be talking about this in more detail, but you should just pay attention over here that in grade 6, 7, 8, they will get many opportunities to learn regional languages and the schedule 8 languages. And then afterwards, they'll enter into the secondary stage, that grade 9, 10, 11 and 12, which will they opt for board even. And remember, grade 3 transform to a more formal stage of learning, and still maintaining the play weight will be there. Grade 1, 2 and the pre-primary stage, these all will be in playway learning. As ma'am has already talked to you, there will be collaboration, there will be idea sharing, there will be a game and activity based learning, by which the children like sir was talking that ECCE, early childhood care centers, will provide them those foundations by which their brain, as you know, everybody know, I think, that the best part of the brain develops when the child is of 6 to 8 years. So the child will develop their brain now in the fundamental stage of the learning, and later on their brain will be utilized in skill development and skill learning, and afterward collaboration and so on. So that's the part of our part 4, pedagogical curriculum and pedagogical basic. Now I just talk about, I will be talking about chapter 4.5, which is languages in school education. I must say that there is lots of opportunity there. The teacher, language teachers, and even many other teachers will get lots of opportunities by the government, state government and central government, even by the other institutions related to language, because there will be lots of requirement about it. As you know, like early education, which I call the is year 5, like 5 classes, pre-primary, home language or mother tongue will be the medium of instructions for them. We already know home language may be the regional language in which the child stay for. I must say with the example, like if I am in Rajasthan, then children living here will occupy their language, Marwari, Rajasthani, you can understand like this. And people living in other states will get their early education in that language. So that's what it called home language or mother tongue will be the medium of instruction for the primary stage of learning. Education will be in the local language, mother tongue at least till preferably till grade 8. Remember, till grade 8 mother tongue and bilingualism will be there, means one language that is their regional language, another the mother tongue will be the main language for parting the education to them or lesson to them. Bilingual approach, bilingual means teaching by 2 different languages or teaching in 2 different languages will be available to them. Now there will be one striking question to you all, that how can we get the text in the different regional languages and the lessons in regional languages. Of course government is working over there, and I will be describing that there are many institutions formed which started working to publish the text, and NCERT is one among them. They will be responsible for publishing text also. Now exposure to 3 or more languages, remember, let me make it clear, exposure to 3 or more languages in schools to all the students will be available from grade 1 onwards. 3 languages will be the languages that a children can opt or can take while learning. One is the regional language, another is national language, and one language the child can take it, acquire it as maybe like English, or they may take like other languages. In higher classes they may take foreign languages even. Remember, measures will be taken to develop and recruit language teachers. What I was talking, there will be amples of opportunities for language teachers, because they will be coming up with the lots of vacancies. And next you can just talk about textbook, which I was just telling you. High quality textbooks will be made available in local languages and needed and feasible. Remember, the materials will be developed for students with disabilities too. For those students who are differently able, they will be studying it in their own language, because materials will be available for them also. Even you can talk about sign language. Indian Sign Language will be also standardized, and the curriculum, national curriculum state materials will be developed. Student will, with hearing impairment, like those who have problem in hearing it, getting it clearly, they will be taught by sign language, and so there will be sign language teachers appointed by the government and availed by them. Now multilingualism and the power of language, as I was talking about, will be the skill of the children. So children learn languages, you already know, most quickly when they're learning different language. So I will just only point out here one important point, that is in yellow color you can see implementation of the three language formula will be there. If I talk about implementation of the three language formula, I must tell you like this, that in grade 6 to 8 children will get chance to change their languages. Remember, if they are studying opting two languages and the child wants to change one language and want to acquire another one language, then he can acquire here at this stage of learning. Remember, at the middle stage of learning the child can acquire or change the third language. Every student in the country will take a fun course. There will be a fun course. It will not be mandatory. The child can switch in any other language if he wishes, but he has to continue with 1 year if he wishes to switch with the language. The languages of India, remember, there are 8 scheduled languages, although there are 22 languages which are mentioned over there, but 8 languages are there which are most prominent for the course a child want to opt. And what are those languages? I will be talking in next slide. Sanskrit will be offered at all levels of school. Remember, nowadays what happens, Sanskrit is only there up to 9th and 10th, but we don't have Sanskrit in higher. Now it will be offered at all level, and those 8 languages I was talking about, they will be the part of classical languages. In addition to Sanskrit, the teaching of other classical languages and literatures of India will be there, like including Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Odia, Pali, Persian and Prakrit. See, this Prakrit language, which even we cannot find it now in our script. Now Prakrit is brought, which is a great preservation of our literature and of course our script. Prakrit is the language which was introduced or which was there before Sanskrit, which will be brought in existence now. And the interesting point is there that National Institute for Pali, Persian and Prakrit will also be set up by the government. So of course the widely available languages will be there, and this is not only for the government schools but all private, personal and government schools will opt this policy. This section will be for all the classes, all the schools. So it is your vibrant nature of language, and children will get lots of boom in language also. Not only this, when we talk about our next slide, let's see, 2-year relevant course on a classical language will be available for the enrichment of children and for the preservation of these rich languages, their artistic treasure. All students in all schools, let me point it out, all students in all schools, public or private, will take at least 2 years of a classical language of India in grade 6 to 8. The existing institutions, including National Institute for these languages, will be strengthened and expanded. So they will be helping the government and the education ministry to incorporate the language. Now regional bodies will be set up. Regional bodies like academics will be set up to coordinate efforts at state level, even UT levels, and in all languages of Schedule 8, the languages which I was just talking in the previous slide. Both the Commission for Scientific, this is you can say this is the organization, these are the organizations which will be working for developing the text materials or the availability of sources. Both Commission for Scientific and Technological Development, the technological terminology which ma'am was talking about, and the regional body will coordinate for coining the standardization of terminology. Means they will be framing out the terminology in all the available languages so that children can easily grab them, teacher can easily share their ideas and impart their education. Each of these bodies will publish